What's up, YouTube? Thanks for tuning in for another Wilson Garage video. So we are working on the Civic today, and we're going to try to tune it. But we have to do a few things before we tune it. So first thing is we have to make sure we have fuel pressure set. We also need to change our spark plugs, and we need to set timing. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to gap our spark plugs. For those of you who want to know what we're running, there you go. This is the NGK spark plug, and I'm going to gap them at 28 thousandths. Alright, so before I do anything, I'm just going to cut this, sorry you guys can't see it there, cut this section out so I can turn it more. Because like I said, this aftermarket distributors, I've been told, have issues with being able to get in the time correctly, and I think full maxed out it's like 16 degrees or something. So we're just going to modify it a little bit, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, then we'll get as close as we can. Alright everybody, so you might be able to hear the Civic in the background. It's actually warming up, so we can do some tuning today. So I'm here in the Hondata S300 program. Go in here. And we're going to open up our map, and I'm going to run through these parameters with you guys real quick. Alright, so we don't have any inputs. We're not doing boost control. Boost cut I have set at 10 psi. I'm actually going to change this. We're going to go to closed loop and a wideband input. So pretty much what that does is within a certain area of the map, or the map sensor, it will target an air fuel. The advanced, we have our wideband set on pin D15, no voltage offset, and then all these numbers here are for are in your instructions for your wideband. No digital inputs or outputs. We're not doing flex fuel, fuel compensation. I didn't really mess with any of these. I just left them with the base map that I got. Fuel injectors, 240 cc is a stock injector. I put the current injector at 550 because that's what we have, but whenever I uploaded the base map, they were at 440 cc injectors, so I changed that, and I went here for the dead times of the injector and just plugged in the Deechworks 600s. That might not be appropriate or the correct thing to do, but that's how we did it. Fuel trims, we have the cranking fuel set at 20% more. No full throttle shifting. I didn't really mess with the gear compensation. Idle, I have it set at 1,000 RPM, and then I set all these three here at 1,000 and these three here at 1,000. I got that stuff off of PFI Speed, Brent. He has a couple of videos on the D series and tuning them, and he kind of goes through some of his parameters, and that's where I got those numbers. Didn't mess with the ignition compensation, launch control. I have it set for launch limit RPM at 4,500, activation RPM at 3,800, fuel enrichment is 125, and ignition timing is negative 38 degrees. And we're disabled the burnout rev limiter because we're not going to be doing burnouts at this moment in time. So we'll test that out here in a bit. Map sensor, stock map sensor, miscellaneous, nothing. Actually, I disabled the knock sensor because every time I enable it, even though this has a knock sensor, it throws a code, so I'm not sure what's going on there. But I enabled ELD, injector error, barometric pressure sensor, alternator control, and ignition output error. So if anything goes on and it wants to throw a code, it will show me that I did that, or that there is something going on. No nitrous, no notes. So I'm going to disable onboard data logging for now. Alright, so protection. I have this thing set at 14.1 to 1 air-fuel ratio, and the engine has to be over 0.9 bar, which is negative 0.16 psi, and it has to have those two numbers for 250 milliseconds before it sets, and pretty much it will just kill the power of the car. I also have overheating protection, 220 degrees, and then if it hits that, then the most I can go is 3,500 RPMs. And then I have radiator fan set it to come on at 180 degrees, and it will shut off at 50 miles an hour. Rev limiter, I have this thing set at like 7,000, and then the rev limiter is pretty low on those, on the activation RPM and power reduction. I set those off of another video for the two-step. So I'm having it not switch to the secondary table. Let's see. Shift light, traction control, throttle position sensor. So you want to read this whenever you hook it up to the car, if you're first doing it, to minimum reading of your throttle position, and then read, and then press it full throttle. Just key on engine off, and then read it again, and that will set your throttle position sensor. And I have VTEC set at 4,500. And okay. did like a 20-minute drive, and did you already clear all those parameters in the fuel? Kind of show them what we did, or what it looked like before. All right, so see all those. Pretty much that's just adding and subtracting on fuel, or where it should be on the target. And we just went through a lot of them and corrected them. So we're gonna clear this out and then go drive around again. But I did want to show y'all something kind of cool. Awesome. Alright everybody, so you just saw that we did a test drive, and it was making a little bit of steam, but I opened up the data log and seen that we're only doing 2 pounds of boost, which doesn't seem right to me. So we have the wastegate off, and we're going to see the spring and if something's going on with maybe the diaphragm or whatever. So we'll bring you back whenever we get this thing apart. Okay, so we got it apart. The diaphragm looks really good. I mean, everything seems fine. Just has a spring, but I believe it's gonna be hard for you guys to see, but I believe that's been cut. Maybe that's part of the issue, but I mean. So we'll put it back together, and I have a manual boost controller I'll install on it to try and get that boost up a little bit. So we've done some tuning on the car. We've also put some new wastegate springs in it to try and get to have better boost control and more boost, I guess. But as you can see, so I bought some Turbo Smart wastegate springs in my China built wastegate, and this is supposed to be a 10 pound spring, and it only makes 5 pounds of boost, and this is supposed to be a 5 pound spring, and it only makes like 3 pounds of boost. So those are not supposed to be in my wastegate, but I also tried to use a wastegate controller that I had for another car, actually for this car, but yeah, it didn't work really. So as you can see, it's starting to snow here in the Midwest, and I'm going to end the video off there. I probably won't make another Civic video until we are in springtime and we can possibly take it to the track. But alright guys, until next time, we'll see ya.